I'm here tonight with Lauren Watson from Ankeny. How you doing tonight, kiddo?
I'm doing great. How are you?
Not bad. We actually were going to do this weekend. I asked you to do this weekend, but you get to take a little trip for
Mhm.
spring break, I'm assuming.
Yep, I'm going to Mexico with Cassie and Callister who once stayed at 105, so we're going together. Be
Very
nice.
nice. Where are you guys going to go? Where are you staying? Maybe I shouldn't ask that just in case, but
We're,
are you going to the golf?
I think we're going around Cancun area, but we'll see how it is with two wrestlers at all inclusive. So
Very good. That's awesome. That's going to be a fun trip. Um, we probably better start right where everybody wants to know the state championship match.
mhm.
Uh, I mean, complete underdog in that whole situation. And I don't want to put you on the spot or anything like that, but I'm good friends with Dustin, and Dustin and I talked prior to that match, and every coach is going to say this, hey, she's going to win that match. Dustin truly believed that. He really did. So, can you walk us through the tunnel and going out and just we'll start with that.
Okay, so I remember just like being in the tunnel, and that was like an event that like it has stuck with me, and I don't know why. It was just important in that moment because we were back there for a while. There was a few like issues with the podium, so we were back there longer than even just like the majority of the other people. And it was like you could hear like the muffled like sounds of, like the arena, which is really cool. And it was just like so cinematic. But I just had so much time to think in there and just about the match. And that could go both ways. It could either be you're thinking confidently, or you could just find yourself going down a rabbit hole of like bad things. And so at first there was a few things that just went negatively through my mind. Like originally I was like, I don't know how I'm gonna walk off this mat after losing, like especially because this is gonna be a huge like historic moment. But then I just kind of like I look out and I see all my family and like all the eight girls in like the Ankeny gear, and something just kind of flipped. And everything from the beginning of the season to like what people have been telling me just started to kind of kick in, and I just like maybe I can do this. So that was just a huge point in, I think, winning that match.
Yeah. And then, you know, the shot, she hits the shot, you get chin whip. And I'm going to tell you, and I've heard a ton of coaches like, man, it wasn't even really like decisive. I mean, it wasn't just like hit. It kind of developed. I mean, when you were in that moment, do you even remember that moment at all, or did it just happen?
I remember a little bit, just like not really. I can like think about what I would remember, but not really.
Yeah,
But
and then I mean, that's great. So it was a great moment. It was. I wish I would have been there because I was trying to get my wrestler ready, and I just hear this roar, and so you did a great job. Katie did a great job too of just collecting herself, shaking hands. You guys didn't. It wasn't a big production and everything. So, but that had to be a pretty special moment jumping into Dustin's arms then.
it was just such like that is like a moment I will reflect on for like the rest of my life.
Yeah, I've got to have two of those moments in my lifetime, and those are the greatest things ever. Uh, One thing I like to talk about on this is what got us there, right? Because it wasn't 1 hour or 2 hours of practice a day. And let's go back because you're a junior.
Yeah,
Freshman year 2026, you were a state qualifier. Was that were we at 16 or were we 32 then? Was that
I think
everybody
that was
together?
32.
Okay, so everybody's together, top four qualify. Tournament probably didn't go the way you wanted to. Come back the next year, you get third,
Yeah,
much better tournament, but that's,
it was.
so how did you make the jump from state qualifier to third place?
I think that was the season that I decided that hey, like I really do like wrestling. Like that like developed just like my kind of like love for the sport, and just especially being at like the high school level, like it's a lot different from like middle school. So I kind of decided that I did want to try out club, and that was the thing that like that club will hammer you and get you ready for the next level. And so I decided to go to Uvasa because my previous teammate had gone there, and I got really good partners there. Just I think I was practicing with even Katie Vespaglia. Like I was getting to practice with some of these really high level girls, and that just kind of like developed my cardio and my technique way beyond what it was.
Yeah. How much time do you spend in the weight room? That's sometimes this question backfires on me as a coach, but how much time do you spend in the weight room?
I used to do like little like things after school. But then I got into our school's really nice about this. And I'm in an all girls lifting class, so every day I'm with my coach Beauregard, who used to help train Iowa State wrestling athletes. So every day I'm in the weight room with him at school.
So important part of that
Yeah.
whole process, right? Um, this year, 2026. And even Dustin told me maybe you didn't start the year off so great, and you weren't undefeated, and things happened. So can you walk me through the season just a little bit? Where was your confidence missing? Coming back after third, man, I'm certain you were ranked probably number two most of the year.
I was.
Knowing that you're one of the top people always amazes me with athletes when they're not confident when they, as a coach, we look at it from the outside, you look at it and think, oh, she's got to be confident. But, where do you think that disconnect was with you?
I think coming up as a third, I feel like that some people probably would think about it and be like, yeah, like that probably helped develop a lot of confidence. But I honestly feel like on my end, especially as the season got closer, I feel like it honestly like brought down my confidence in the sense that like I felt a bunch of pressure. It was like invisible pressure. Like no one was
Hmm.
genuinely putting pressure on me except myself. And I just had these super high expectations after coming off of a really strong club season, obviously a third place finish at state. I just had these expectations for myself that I had to be this amazing wrestler that people envisioned me. And I feel like, and after I lost my first match, that was my first tournament, then everything just went downhill. Like, I went into like a spiral of just freaking out of what everyone was thinking about me, thinking about how I put in all this work and it's just not working. So that was just really where my confidence was probably at its lowest.
How did that start to build back?
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So after that meet, I ended up reaching out. Ankeny is an amazing school, and they provided us with a mental mindset trainer that has worked one on one with us for about 2 seasons now. And I texted her that night, and obviously I was devastated. Like, but I thought it was over.
Yeah.
And she told me this one thing that I genuinely like has like stuck with me, and I think it'll stick with me for a while. She said that if we don't experience the lowest of lows, then the highs mean nothing. And I'm like, wow, like you're right. And so just kind of thinking about that, and then just knowing that I was on a team that like loved me and like supported me. And my coach Roland, like he told me after that meet, he looked me in the eyes. He's like, "You're going to win a title." And obviously, I did not believe him. I'm like, "Yeah, like this gonna be my bracket." Like, no, I'm not. But he told me that, and he kept telling me that, and just me by me in practice with all my teammates, I just started kind of not caring what other people thought about me and just building everything back.
That's good. That is good. We always worry that pressure you talk about. I've had people experience that too, and part of doing these interviews actually helps me as a coach also because I try to find those things that work for other people because I know that pressure's there. I've had people make the finals as a sophomore, junior, and not be able to make it back because of that pressure. They feel so much pressure that to compete, it's not real. I mean, there is always pressure. If there was no pressure, we didn't care, right? But that pressure to win, mom and dad still love you whether you won or lost. Coach is still proud of you. I think sometimes we overplay that. So it's good to hear that. That's cool that Ankeny has that for you. That is really a nice little perk there. Um, let's talk about our good buddy Dustin. I'm going to put this on before I forget because he got me this Ankeny hat and he said anytime I interview somebody from Ankeny, I got to wear my Ankeny hat. Uh, what's Dustin like to have just as a coach?
Oh, Dustin is probably I've done a lot of sports, and Dustin has definitely been the best coach I've ever had. He seems like on the outside kind of like this tough cookie, but really on the inside he's a huge sweetie, and he probably will kill me for saying that because he's probably trying to be all tough, but he's honestly like he has so much beliefs in people, and like that's amazing. Like he believes in you and he knows what you can do. So sometimes he's a little hard on us, but it all comes back to like he knows what we can actually accomplish. And that's one of the best aspects I've ever found in a coach is someone that will push you, but also still be by your side. and
Yeah.
help you. And he just, yeah, he really cares about wrestling, and it shows. And he's amazing. I could go on and on.
So just so I have some ammunition and fuel next time we're out together and making fun of him, what's kind of the goofiest thing he does in practice or that he does?
So every time we are at like an away tournament, the past years he has brought this big onesie, and he's worn it when we or he's yeah he has worn this onesie when we do our team meetings at night, and he just like, walks in the room all confident. And one year he even wore a Santa costume because it was around like Christmas. Yeah,
So he's not afraid to be a little bit different, a little goofy.
yeah, he's
That's
definitely
good.
not afraid.
I'm going to take this interview back a long ways. I don't even know. Actually, I don't. I should have talked to you ahead of time, but sometimes it's better when I don't. When did you start wrestling?
I started wrestling in seventh grade, so
Seventh
middle
grade.
school.
So when middle school sports started, you weren't like one of the second grade. You weren't at Super Pee Wees.
I was not at Super TV, unfortunately.
Yeah, so, what was your reason for starting wrestling?
I don't really know. I honestly feel like it was like a calling. I don't know. I My family has we used to be really close with other family, and their kids are really into wrestling. And the dad is super into wrestling, and so I'm like, huh, that's kind of cool. And I'm like, and my brother, like me and him always just used to be like siblings do, like
Yeah.
us to like play fight, and I feel like that kind of like boosted my ego a little bit, and I'm like, maybe I could actually wrestle. So yeah, my dad didn't really actually want me wrestling at first, but I went against his word, and I'm really glad I did. He's really glad I went against his word too.
Yeah. So is your brother older or younger?
He's older than me.
He's
He's
older. I got an older brother too, and they were it's I think it's why we're mean.
I can take it. Yeah,
Yeah, for sure. So you start wrestling and at first it doesn't matter who you are. First wrestling or any sport we do is something that we're trying out and seeing how that is. When did wrestling become something that you were trying to something that you really love to do?
I'd have to say the transition from middle school to high school was definitely like where I'm like, wow, like this is what I love. Because it was my transition from middle school to high school. It wasn't just going to a high school team, it was going to the Ankeny team. And I was the first generation of girls from Monterey to go to the Ankeny team. There was one other girl alongside me, but I feel like I was finally like, because in middle school I had been on an all boys team, and I wrestled maybe a few girls the entire middle school season. But as I entered high school and I was on an all girls team, just such amazing coaches, I'm like, wow, like these girls love it too. And that was just like when I'm like, maybe I could pursue something with this and just like keep growing with these girls. So that was when I kind of first decided. Yeah.
So girls wrestling, you kind of hit something on it. You brought something up in my head there. Girls wrestling, I really the changed my life. I mean, the difference in the sport, but what do you really love about girls wrestling?
I think I really love how close everyone is. And it's like ironic because like you think that we're out on the mat, like we're hitting each other, we're like fighting each other, that we would all just kind of have like a secret hatred for each other. But I think it's like the complete opposite. Like being at a meet and like seeing just like so many other girls from other schools and just like remembering them from past tournaments and we're all hanging out. That is the hands down the best part about it. We're all just like so close. And I think it's maybe because we all know what we all go through. Like wrestling is not easy, but we just all like get that. We all like share a love for it, and we just that's something we can all connect on.
Yeah, I think that's been my thing. The relationships that are built in girls wrestling is such a different thing than it is in the boys side of the sport. It's such an important thing. It is fantastic. I want to go back into confidence a little bit. Like obviously to make us be a state qualifier as a freshman, you still had to be fairly good, and you have to have some confidence is like key to me in this entire sport. Um, can you think a moment that changed, maybe like your freshman year when you're like, man, I could do okay at this?
I think it was probably at regionals my freshman year. I was really nervous. I had no clue like even what girls state really entailed and like the competition that was going to be there. And I knew it was like really cool to go to state, but it was like my first like high school sport or state was like actually an option. And so besides basketball. But I was like I wrestled these matches and I qualified. I think I got third maybe at
Hmm.
regionals. And that was when I'm like, oh, maybe I'm actually kind of good at this. I'm just getting the
What
experience again.
So the girls' state tournament, man, I like to brag this up for Aaron and Kylie now, and they do such a good job. What's it feel like to be out on that mat? Because it is loud in there and it's exciting and just the whole environment of the girls' wrestling tournament. What's some of the things you really like about it?
I think, well, first of all, I really like how everything's pink. That adds everything. It's just so like fun and like girly, and I love it. And but I think like when you're like on the mat in like the dome, it's just like kind of like time like slows down. Like it's really loud in there, but like it's not loud. Like you can
Hmm.
hear everything, and it's just like so like such a majestic moment. And it's like sometimes I even have like when I'm in there, I just need like take a step back and just like look around and like remember everything that like this has come to. But it's just such an amazing moment, and like it does help build confidence. I think because it's like I made it here, and all
Yep.
these people are here to watch.
Yeah. It's such a cool tournament. I always do the same thing and I got this from my head wrestling coach who was an amazing wrestler, he's a three-time state champion. This is back in Vets days. You wouldn't even know what Vets is. Roland may have told you stories about that. That's where the state tournament used to be. That was crazy. But he said every year I went back even after, because he coached there and he would go up to the top and he would just yell, "I did it," because and that's something you'll be able to do the rest of your life. I actually had this conversation, and I don't want to sideswipe this as your interview, but had this conversation the other day with Tegan, and I said, you are the 2026 state champion. No one can ever take that away from you. So you have to be very proud of that because it took a lot of effort and work. But next year when you come back, that 2027 state championship is not yours to lose, it's yours to earn. So don't have that. That's where we talked earlier about pressure. You don't have to have that pressure to lose it because it's not yours yet. You have to go do exactly what you did this year and probably more to get that back, but don't have that pressure that you can lose it because you can't. So, um, team sport. We'll jump right into that. Wrestling to me is probably the biggest team sport people don't understand, right? What is the Ankeny team like?
Being on the Ankeny team is amazing. Well, we're schools combined, and so obviously I'm blessed to be on such a big team. First of all, because I bet a lot of girls wish that they were like on a big team, but all the girls are there for the same reason. Most, basically, all of them is that they love wrestling and that they want to get better, and that's probably the best environment you can be in because we all connect on that level, and all the girls get along. Like I don't, I would say I've even had girls from like other teams come up to us and be like, "You guys are really close," because I've seen some teams like where there's like groups of girls that are friends with girls and then other groups. I overall think our team is like really close as one, and it's just amazing because at duels, especially, that is the most fun part. Just like being with the team and like everyone is cheering for each other and like and then getting food afterwards. We started doing that this year a lot, like going to get food as a team afterwards. It was just amazing.
That's cool. That's really cool. There's a lot of you probably don't know this you may kind of understand this, but little girls look up to high school girls. Freshmen come in, look up to high school. You've laid a path. The whole team does a great job of this, but you're a state champion now. Jamie, was there anybody else from Ankeny that was? It was you and Jamie for sure, right? So you guys have shown them the path, right? What do you want the littles are the girls coming in next year to know or to learn about, from you? What are you hoping they take away from you?
I think the main thing I want the little girls to take away from my experience is that anything is possible. And I know that kind of sounds like um, common to say, but like I feel like the moment I experienced truly just shows that anything is possible and like don't sell yourself short. Because once you tell yourself you can't win, then you're not going to win. So I feel like that just knowing that you can do anything is probably like best thing I think people can do with my experience.
So what it, if you didn't have wrestling, what would you put your time into?
I didn't have wrestling. Oh my gosh. I don't know. I like to like with my friends, like stuff I do with my friends.
Did you play before wrestling? Did you play other sports?
I did cross country.
Okay.
I'm a fan of cross country. I didn't get in shape for wrestling, but I love the people on the team. But I'm not a huge fan of running, honestly.
Are you going to go out for cross country next year?
I am not going to go out for cross country. I didn't go out this year. I went out my freshman and sophomore year. Then I realized that maybe it's not. I do like to compete in public competitions, in pinball competitions with my friends.
There you go. That's something. Um, but do you have any hobbies besides wrestling? Is there something that you like to do outside of the sport?
Give me a sec. I really like to snowboard. I've been
Do
getting
you?
into that. I really like to snowboard.
Does Dustin allow you to go snowboarding in the wintertime? Because or just
Dustin
not
doesn't
telling.
know. Dustin does not know that I go snowboarding in the winter.
We'll have to put a pause in here. Dustin, don't listen right now.
Yeah, Dustin, do not listen past me.
Because my wrestling coach was my gym teacher, and we lived in a well, I lived in a smaller town too, and we would go sledding one time a year, a couple times a year, and the wrestlers were allowed to go down one time, and that was it. And then you stood by coach, and then we went ice skating, but we weren't allowed to put ice skates on. We had to stand by coach, So yeah, I get it. Um, Food, man, we love that stuff, don't we? Wrestling and food go hand in hand.
They do.
And I will tell you, I will never make my wrestling way ever again in my lifetime because I like food too much.
Yeah.
Let's start with the good side of it. After weigh-ins, what's your go-to?
Okay, my go-to. I developed like a new. I've usually been in the same pattern, but this year it's been kind of different. I'll take a coconut water and some flavor mix, and that's for my drink, my coconut
Okay.
water. And then for my food, I bring a kind of thermos and it has sweet potatoes in there. And
Okay.
I really feel like that changed. I don't know if I'm gaslighting myself, but I really do think it made me wrestle better.
I am a firm believer in the sweet potato too. I think that might be that's that because it has a lot long-term energy. It's not just quick burning. I get it.
Huh?
Yeah.
Yeah. And then sometimes I'll have like a sweet treat, like a Biscoff cookie alongside. Yeah.
So between matches, what are you hitting quick between matches?
Um, Sometimes like a snack on like popcorn, something small and like light. I can't do anything too heavy.
Gotcha.
Like granola bars, I really like these like protein bars. Built up is really good.
Yep.
Yeah.
How much water do you drink a day?
Oh, I drink a lot. Well, in wrestling season, when I'm leading up to weigh-ins, I probably should drink more. But at a tournament, I drink sometimes
Way
two.
more hydrated than the old school version of weight cutting though, right?
Yeah, yeah.
Okay. Um, Guilty pleasure foods, man. I can give you a long list of things that I really love to eat. Do you have something that you're like, man, I don't miss that. I mean, I do miss that during wrestling, but I don't miss that because I'm still gonna have a bite of it.
Um, I really love Taco Bell. I love getting the $7 Loose Cravings box because it's cheap and it comes with so much stuff. And I can, I can, oh, I love Taco Bell. And I also like the Cinnabons and then a Baja Blast with it. I,
You're not alone. I can't remember how many it is now. You're probably the fourth or fifth person that has said, well, a lot of them say Crunch Wrap Supreme and a Baja Blast.
yeah,
So the $7 box, that's the way I'd go.
yeah,
More for your money, right? That's definitely the way
exactly.
to go. So you can't give me a fast food place because we're not going out to eat at a fast food place. I'm coming to Ankeny. Where are we gonna go out to eat? What's the best place? I guess you're in Bondurant though
I
too.
am
But
wondering,
anywhere,
but
where's the best place to go?
um, gosh, yeah, it's closer to Monterey, and I think it's more towards Colfax. But it's Giorgio's Pizza. They have such good pizza. Literally the best pizza. And I can't get interested in music. I could probably put back an entire pizza. But they have the best pizzas and their bread is so good.
What's your favorite pizza then?
I really like I like cheese. I'm kind of like, but I also do really like chicken bacon ranch. I love chicken bacon
Oh
ranch
yeah, I
with
could
some ranch with it. Some people probably think that's really gross, but I'm a huge fan of ranch and pizza.
ranch. I do. I eat ranch on a lot of my pizza. I don't know where I got it from, but yeah, ranch and pizza go hand in hand.
So good.
Just to be controversial, can pineapple be on pizza?
I'm not a fan. I really am not a huge fan of mixing sweet and salt. Like I stray away from that. I can go without that.
I might have to start asking that to everybody and see what kind of pull we get going on here.
Um,
So we already talked. You're going to go on vacation here in just a couple of days. Very cool. But do you have a bucket list vacation spot that you would like to go to?
I feel like my bucket list vacation spot would honestly in the United States it would have to be Oregon. I really want to go to Oregon. One of my best friends is going to play softball there, and I feel like it's just like so like nature, and I really want to go really bad. But outside the United States, I kind of want to go like Aruba, somewhere tropical.
Are you a beachy person?
I am a beachy person. I love the beach. I
I
love the sun. Yes,
Yeah, there's no reason to go anywhere that I have to wear a coat. That would be stupid.
I hate the rain. That's my least favorite part about wrestling season.
Now, this is probably the hardest question I'm going to ask you the entire day. It is actually kind of a difficult one to go through, and I should have maybe mentioned it ahead of time. I have to make a YouTube thumbnail, right? All of them have to have a tagline. The tagline's the whole key to it, to really getting a lot of views and stuff. So, what would a tagline be for a Lauren Watson YouTube video? It's not easy. We've gone through and we talk about the season. We talk about just your anything that you can think of that's like define your season like in a sentence.
Um, let me see. Oh my gosh, this is hard.
It's very hard. Actually, that's why I'm asking because it's hard for me to come up with these things, so I just write it down. Let's just talk about season. You started off with a loss, you built back through there. Is there something that somewhere in there that what's the statement that they said to you again? Lowest of
Oh
lows, highest high.
yeah,
Tell me how that
um,
goes. Tell me one more time how that
it,
goes.
it goes like if you've never experienced the lowest of lows, then you can't feel the highest of highs.
I'm gonna figure out how to wrap that in there. I
I
think
think
that's a
that's
great
perfect.
statement. That would be awesome. I like to talk about this a lot. Of course, Dustin gives back. I give back all the time. When you're done wrestling, are you thinking about giving back, being a coach or an official?
Oh yeah, no, I know for a fact that when I'm older, I definitely want to be a coach for a team. And Roland has gotten a bunch of us, a bunch like 7 girls this season. He got us certified to officiate, which is amazing. I got to meet so many new people, and I think I officiated like 6 tournaments this season. So that was awesome.
So let's explore that because this is one of my favorite things to do. Um, and I always talk to the officials prior to meets. I just got done doing AAU state, and I spend the whole weekend walking up and down the middle there, taking care of problems. But I get to sit and talk to officials. Being an official and being able to talk to officials, how do you think that's changed the way you wrestle and the way you look at things?
Yes, I I used to like kind of be like not even like take officials into consideration like but after becoming one, some people are mean. Like they yell and they don't really care. And so I feel like now, like I'll look at a ref and I have respect for them because like people yell at me, so I'm like, I will stay back. Like Roland gets up and is like barking at an official, I'll be back and just kind of be like,
He's like, "Sound coach."
yeah, I'm like, sit down, please. Yeah.
Yeah, it's a tough job. It is a very tough job. The thing I like to do with that, and I'm sure you probably see the sport differently though. I don't know how many people I've talked to that maybe got injured and had to sit and coach for a semester. Maylee Ellsbury, I don't know if you know Maylee or not. After her knee injury, she had to sit and coach her whole freshman year, changed the way she looks at how she wrestles. And officiating, I think, does that same exact thing. As you start seeing it through another lens, and it's just something that adds to your wrestling. Um, let's see, which direction do I want to go here? Well, well, you're a junior. Have you started the recruiting trail at all? Do you know what you want to be when you grow up? Because I don't.
So I'm really interested in like going to dental hygiene because I think that'd be such a fun job, a dental hygienist. But I have started kind of like looking at some colleges, and I've had a few reach out to me. So right now I'm currently wanting to wrestle in college. But I can't envision not wrestling in college is my thing. And just
Gotcha.
being on the team, I feel like it'd just be such a good experience. So yeah.
So here's two things, because I talk to a lot of college coaches and on different levels, right? Because I'm friends with the Grandview coaches that have been around a while. I've had interviews with Brady Kreiner at Wartburg. I mean, just some of the top level ones. And then I also talk to these new coaches that are just getting started. Two things to look at. You can go to a team where, man, it might be tough to make that lineup because there's good people in there and you're going to have to really fight and get better at wrestling, which is probably the goal for most people. Or you can go be the face of a program at or at a smaller school and be that person that people are challenging to be. Which direction sounds more fun to you? And I'm not obviously this you're just it's just a question.
Yeah. I feel like, honestly, and maybe this is just because how I came up in wrestling, I would rather probably be on a team that's already more formatted. Just because coming from Monterey going to Ankeny, I kind of joined a team that was already like put together and like I
Hmm.
did kind of have to fight for my spot a little bit more. And I feel like just being a part of like a team with that many girls, like that's kind of the direction I'm wanting to go, just because I feel like already you're kind of starting off with a stronger team dynamic, and I feel like that's something I really can't live without in wrestling because I haven't lived without it.
So Iowa also has this incredible advantage that I think have the most colleges of any state we're not very big. We have 2-year schools with some incredible 2-year schools that are at the top end of that division. We have NAIA schools that are both at the top. I think two of the three NAIA schools that we have are in the top five consistently. We have the most D3 schools ever, and the Wartburg did an amazing job, this year placing. We saw like Gable got placed as a freshman, which is really cool. We have a Division 2 school that's up and coming now, Upper Iowa, and then we have a D1 school. What in that group I mean, because there's all those. Well, there's not D1 right now. We only have one. Maybe Iowa State would join. That would be incredible.
Yeah,
But
hopefully.
what level of wrestling are you thinking? I mean, again, just a question as you're going into your senior year, you're going to really start hitting that recruiting trail, and maybe we'll follow up. Maybe we'll talk about recruiting next year sometime. Maybe before you make your decision, and you don't have to announce with me,
Yeah,
but I'm just saying maybe we'll talk about
mhm.
recruiting or something
Yeah,
like that.
that'd be fun. So yeah,
What right now, if I came to you and I said I have these 5 choices for you, what do you lean towards?
right now I'm kind of interested in just going to a two-year school because I've seen so many like good programs in Iowa, especially that just have like really strong teams in early 2 year, and even to be a dental hygienist, like you only need a 2 year degree.
Yep.
So kind of that, and I feel like even just like wrestling and then getting out and coaching is something I'm really like looking forward to. So I don't know if I'm really right now leaning towards like a 4 year college, but we'll see what happens.
All right. Well, we'll see how the phone calls come,
Yeah,
because I,
yeah,
I will tell you, I've had a couple of people that have talked about recruiting on here, and next thing they know, they've got too many visits to go to,
yeah,
because a lot of coaches do watch. Um, when you look back, you get old and gray like Roland and I, and you're sitting on your porch yelling at kids for getting off your lawn. Because I'm sure that's what Roland does most of the time, is just yell at little kids to get off his lawn. What do you think you're going to remember the most about wrestling?
I think the thing I'm gonna remember most about wrestling is just the lessons and the people it's brought me. I truly think my life has genuinely been impacted by the relationships I've made with other girls and just they've kind of like put a path in my life for how I view life now, and just like not taking anything for granted because I'm so blessed to have the girls I've met. I'm so blessed to have the opportunities I have with the Ankeny team. I'm so blessed to have a title, and it just that's just something I'm gonna forever look back on. So
Very
thankful.
good answer. No, that is an incredible answer. Now you're still in, are you on spring break right now? Or you got one more day
It
left?
was the last day. Yeah, we're on third now.
All right. So I'm going to give you one question quiz. Pretty simple. It's fill in the blank. All right. Wrestling has taught me to blank.
Wrestling has taught me to get up, and I think that could mean a lot of things with my experience. But the thing I'm looking at most is just being low in life and in wrestling, and just having so many things keeping you down, like losing matches, not performing to your expectations, and just knocks you down. But knowing that like you have to get up, you can't just sit. It's so much easier just to stay down, and but it's so much harder to get up. But when you do get up, it's so worth it because I mean, it's brought me my friends title. So just getting up and working, keep working, stay consistent.
I like it. So the term wrestle like a girl, obviously it's an organization, but I'm not really saying in that term. What do you think it means to wrestle like a girl?
I think it means to wrestle like a girl is just to wrestle with confidence. I feel like getting out on the mat is something that, as a girl, especially just because it's kind of like up and coming as a sport, and like people look at wrestling and it's like, oh, that's a boys' sport. And I've been around it when it was, and I've seen how people react when they have seen girls, and sometimes it's not always the most positive way. But wrestling like a girl to me just means going out on the mat and just wrestling with confidence and just being proud of where you're at. And yeah, I love that question actually.
Yeah, no, that's a really good answer. You guys, you'll look back and see this. I see this from many different angles because I know I've been around the sport about as long as Roland. We actually, Jolene Harris. I I don't know if Jolene ever stops in. She's coaching now in college, but that was one of Dustin's first wrestlers. About the same time Dustin and I have both been around the girls' sport. So we want to watch these girls that were all on the boys team. There's maybe 15, 20, 30 of them wrestling in the high school to the next group of girls, kind of through that IWCOA era where the sport was really growing and picking up. And now with your group, the girls that are like the first 4 years, the amount of just the growth and not just growth in numbers, the growth in the ability of wrestling. I don't disparage anybody, but I've told Keegan was my first wrestler. I said, I'm not sure if you didn't improve, I don't know if you'd make the varsity team on my team right now. And you were one of the best at the time, right? Because it's gotten so much tougher. You get those freshmen coming in that have been wrestling since they've been knee high, and it's just amazing to watch. So you should be really proud of what your group of girls has done. Each group has done something for the sport. There's those trailblazers, and they did a great job. And then there's those that started to build the sport and get the numbers, but you guys have really picked up the ability in that sport. And I hear that every year from coaches and officials like, man, these girls are really good wrestlers. And that's fun to see. So I hope you look back in the few, it won't be long. I hope back you'll be in college and look back and go, wow, we did something. That's really cool. And you did something. You accomplished something really huge. I'm really proud of you. So that being said, there's another group of girls coming up behind you. What's your advice to those girls?
I think my advice to girls that are kind of coming into wrestling is, well, overall, I think that most girls should get in the club because I think that club wrestling is something that is going to be, it's going to start to become more normalized. And I think wrestling is the type of sport where it's like, you kind of have to be around it a lot.
Yep.
And a lot of people come to figure that out. But just finding a club that you have fun with. And it doesn't have to be like boring. It doesn't have to be like a chore to go to. Club can be fun. And I think that was something that I kind of like had like an athlete. But club's fun and just getting those opportunities on the mat is what I really love.
So you just said fun about 6 times in that one thought, which is great because this is I actually this I had one more question, but we're gonna continue on because it hit me. How important is it to have fun in the sport?
Wrestling, I think, especially, I think it's really important because it's so demanding, it's so challenging. Wrestling is one of the sports where it's like you're thinking about it all the time. Whether it has to do when you're not at practice, you have to worry about your weight and the dieting, or you have to get up early mornings. It's just so challenging. It can get really easy to get distracted and find so many negative things about it that can really affect your wrestling. And I've had to go through like trials of that, and I've gotten a lot better at looking at positive aspects. And I feel like that itself has already improved my wrestling. But having fun and just finding joy in it will keep you so much more. It'll help you work harder. It'll help you stay in it longer and just give you that drive to put more effort in.
Yeah. So I like to make fun of Dustin. Everybody does, right? But anytime I'm around Dustin, it's well, Ankeny, well, you guys wake up cheating and all this stuff. And I love to. He says that all the time, and so I'm not saying that it's just fun to joke around with him and stuff. But I've gotten to know a few of the Ankeny girls, and it's fun for me to get to know people on other teams. Yourself, Jamie. Jamie might be one of the craziest girls I've ever met in my life, but it has been really fun to talk to you and get to know you better. Uh, yeah, this is such a cool sport because I even said this with Nessa. I'm sure you know Nessa, that I really wanted to not like you because you beat my girls before, but dang it, I like you, so
Yeah,
it's so hard to not, I've yet to find somebody in this sport that isn't an amazing young woman, and you definitely are. Last thing for you. I always leave time for final thoughts, which is can also put you on the spot a little bit. Don't overthink it. Just something you'd like to let everybody know.
I think something I would like to let everyone know is obviously like the video went viral after state, and I think everyone should just know this because they're probably wondering. I don't know, maybe no one's wondering, but I after state and after that video got posted and I won, it was like a huge thing of like emotions. Um, I checked my phone, and my phone has never blown up so much in its life. I think I had like 50 missed calls, probably like 100 plus text messages, like 100 Instagram notifications. It was absolutely insane because that video it blew up. And so people were like calling me like, "Oh my gosh, you won!" And I'm like, "Yeah." And yeah, that was just like an adding thing I thought was cool.
Of course, now that you said that, now I have to go more questions and stuff like that. That's how I'm always the last one to leave a tournament because I always have something more to say. Maybe it's just because I'm old and senile and I just got to talk. Um, the podium, right? All year long, we worked to be on the top of that podium, and you got there. Did the medal change you, or did the path that got you to that medal change you?
Oh, honestly, like I've thought about winning state where I won. Like I've thought about it, and I'm like, wow, like I can't. I really want it. Like, and obviously I do, but I feel like after finally like accomplishing it, I just like I look at the medal and I'm like, oh, it's just a medal. But that's not the thing that matters. Winning state has really changed my life and for the best. But then you like think about everything and like all like the rough nights over a medal, and it's like now you get the medal, and you're just looking at it, and it's like it's just a medal.
Yep.
So taking a step back from that and really just like looking at the way to get there, probably the most rewarding part about winning.
Yeah, I asked that because and I don't know if you ever had the chance to watch this, but Helen Maroulis has a video or had several videos, obviously. She talks about that same thing, that her whole goal in life has always been to be Olympic champion. And then she got it done and she's like, I'm not different.
Yeah,
It was everything she did to that point is what changed her. So I'm glad you recognize that too. So no, it's really been fun to get to know you. I will definitely run into each other multiple times, I'm sure next year and stuff. So anytime, make sure we'll make fun of rolling together.
yeah, we will together.
All right. You have a good night, kiddo.
Yeah,
I'm gonna
thank
hit
you.
the stop button.